The inside story of Israel begins long before 1948. It begins thousands of years ago when the land was known as the home of the ancient Israelites, when kings like David and Solomon ruled from Jerusalem, when temples rose and fell, and when exile scattered the Jewish people across the world for nearly 2,000 years. Through centuries of wandering, persecution, and hope, Jews dreamed of returning to what they called the Promised Land. But history pushed that dream further away, until the horrors of the 20th century made it urgent. During World War II, Adolf Hitler and the Nazi regime carried out the Holocaust, murdering 6 million Jews in one of humanity's darkest chapters. And out of that unimaginable tragedy grew a worldwide demand for a safe homeland where Jews could defend themselves, never again depending on the mercy of others. In 1948, after the United Nations approved the partition of Palestine into separate Jewish and Arab states, the state of Israel was declared, but its birth was violent. Surrounded by hostile neighbors, attacked the very next day, Israel fought for survival in a war that shaped its identity forever. Since then, wars in 1967 and 1973, peace deals with Egypt and Jordan, and endless clashes with Palestinians have written chapters of both triumph and heartbreak. Yet Israel is not just war. It is innovation rising from ashes. It is deserts turned green with agriculture. It is Jewish immigrants from Europe, Africa, and the Middle East, building cities like Tel Aviv on once empty shores. It is Jerusalem, where prayers of Jews at the Western Wall mix with church bells, and the call to prayer from Al-Aqsa Mosque, a city sacred yet scarred. The paradox of Israel is that it carries both ancient history and cutting-edge technology, both the trauma of the Holocaust and the pride of military victories, both the dream of peace and the reality of conflict. Critics call it an occupier. Supporters call it a miracle. But inside Israel, life is more human than headlines. Families eat together, argue politics, celebrate festivals, mourn losses, and raise children in a land where every sunrise feels uncertain yet hopeful. The shadow of Hitler's crimes still lingers, reminding Jews why they needed a homeland, while the cries of Palestinians remind the world that one people's dream became another people's struggle. The inside story of Israel, then, is not a simple tale of heroes or villains, but a complex saga of survival, faith, power, and pain. A story that continues to echo louder than the size of the land itself, forcing the world to watch as history, religion, and politics collide on one of the most contested pieces of Earth.